Welcome back to Just Piddlin Barbecue and happy Cinco de Mayo. Today we're going to be doing a flat iron steak on the Traeger Pro 780, so stay tuned. Alright, today I've got a certified Angus flat iron steak. It's a really good steak if you know how to cook it properly and to slice it against the grain. That's what we're going to do today. Now I've got the Pro 780 heating up at 185 degrees, and that's how we're going to start off this cook. And then at the end, we're going to use some grill grates to sear this thing off. So let's start with the seasoning. Now first things first, we're going to start off with Whiskey Bent Barbecue's The Rocks. It's a really good rub that goes on just about any red meat. It's got some really coarse seasonings in it. And then we're going to go back with Tango Spice Company's Southwest Sunset. It's got some really good spice, and that's going to go well with this flat iron steak. And now we're just going to kind of press it in a little bit, flip it over and do the other side. Make sure everything's covered well. And press it in. And that's about all there is to it, really simple. As soon as the Traeger 780 comes up to temperature at 185 degrees, we're going to get this flat iron steak on. Alright, we're going to get this flat iron steak on the Traeger Pro 780 at 185 degrees. Put it right there in the middle, and that's how we're going to let it go. Now we're going to let it go until the internal temperature is about 110 degrees. Then we're going to take it off, crank the heat up, and then we're going to sear it off. Now while the flat iron steak is on the Traeger, we're going to go ahead and put this chimichurri sauce together. Now there are a lot of recipes for this out there, but this is the one that I'm going to use. You can adapt it however you want to adapt it, make it your own. Okay, so first we have 1 teaspoon of sea salt, 1 teaspoon of ground black pepper, 1 teaspoon of cumin, 2 teaspoons of red pepper flakes, 2 teaspoons of minced garlic, we have 2 teaspoons of chopped basil, 2 teaspoons of oregano, and a 1/4 cup of freshly chopped parsley. Now to that we're going to add 3 tablespoons of red wine vinegar. And then we're going to add a 1/2 cup of olive oil. And now we're just going to give that a mix. Alright, the internal temperature of our flat iron steak has reached 110 degrees. We're going to remove it, crank up the heat, and then we're going to sear it off on these grill grates. So let's get this thing off. Looking good so far. Going to get those grill grates right there in the middle. Take the steak off. Close the lid. Crank it up. I'm cranking it up to 500 degrees. When it gets up to temperature, we're going to put this thing on and sear it off. Alright, we've cranked it up to 500 degrees. It's actually up to 510 degrees right now, so it's screaming hot. We're fixing to sear this flat iron steak off. That's what we want to hear. All right, we've gone 3 minutes. We're gonna pick it up, give it a twist. Let her go 3 more minutes. All right, now we're gonna flip it over and get the other side. Nice grill marks. Just let it go. All right, now we're gonna give it a twist. Get that last side. All right, now we're gonna take it off. Let it rest, and then we'll slice it up. All right, now when you shut your Traeger down, your Pro 780, and you've been over 400 degrees, it's gonna calculate that temperature and give itself a time limit on how to shut it down. However, I don't like to depend on just that. So for me, if I've been cooking at 400 degrees or higher, I'm gonna turn the temperature down to about 300 degrees and hit enter. And I'm gonna allow it to come down to 300 degrees and settle for a few minutes before I shut it all the way down. That's just a fail safe to prevent any kind of back burn or anything else like that from happening. That's just what I do. You don't have to do it if you don't want to, but I've never had any issues doing it that way. Just a little tip for you. All right, we're gonna slice it up, and we're gonna slice it up against the grain. That's to ensure that it's as tender as possible when you go to bite into it. And so we're gonna cut it into little bite-sized, probably pencil width pieces. Those are going to be nice. I actually should have probably cut it on the bias, but it'll be okay. They're going to eat just the same. Nice, probably a medium well, probably a medium. It went a little bit farther than I wanted it to, but we're going to give it a taste test now and see how we did. That's the main thing. Right off the bat, great steak flavor. A little kick from the Tango Joe Spice Company, Southwest Sunset. Great flavor from the Whiskey Bent Barbecue. Great rub. Great steak flavor. Seared it perfectly on the grill grates on the Pro 780. For all you guys that say pellet grills can't get hot, as juicy as it could be. Look at the juice, guys. Look at the juice. Pure flavor. Well, now that I've already taken a bite, let's try the chimichurri sauce on there. I almost forgot about the chimichurri sauce. But I think this is going to kick it up a notch. Let's try some of that. Get one right there from the middle. Fresh. Right off the bat, freshness. It's almost like a pesto. The basil, oregano, really get the basil. That's beautiful. And it's simple to make. Give that a try. That is excellent. Excellent. Till next time, we'll be piddling. We're fixing to make some tacos with this and celebrate the rest of our Cinco de Mayo. Probably get in the pool a little bit, have a few refreshments. Hope you've had a great day. Till next time, we'll be piddling. All right, now while the flat iron steak is on the Traeger, we're going to go ahead and put this chimichurri sauce together. Now there's a lot of chimichurri